Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to the farm at Freewarden. We're walking down to the south pasture here. I'd like you to come along and help me out with something. We have a big job to do today. We've been doing little steps here and there, little jobs to prepare for it. We are ready now to really start our grass-fed chicken broiler raising project. We feed all of our chicks an organic mix of grain and other such things, and we've got a beautiful big greenish colored leopard frog here. You can see him there in the grass. He's blending in. Oh, there he goes. All right, see you later. All right, so we have several of our own hatched big red broilers out here on pasture. And then I've got 1, 2, and 3 tractors set up for the rest of them. Each of these tractors is rated to hold 25 to 30 full-grown broilers. So we are going to take, let's see, we've got about 219 left in there. We got 19 or 20 in there, so we're just gonna round up to 240 chickens that we've got to raise here in these 4 tractors. Divide that by 4. That equals 60. So we're going to put 60 chicks in each of these tractors. What I found last year is if you don't get them staged right and you don't have a plan of where they're going, you are going to have a miserable time these last 4+ weeks that you're raising these guys. So this project is going to take us right up into September, almost through the end of September before we're done raising and butchering them. I've got feed set aside for these guys out here. They're ready to go. This is beautiful. I'm really looking forward to this way more so than I was last year. Last year was kind of miserable, but we were just learning the ropes. We were getting our feet wet and just jumping in. We raised a lot of chickens last year. Probably about as many as we're raising this year, actually. Over 1,000 pounds of meat that we're going to be putting away and selling. And that's just from 8 to 12 weeks per animal, raising that animal 8 to 12 weeks. That's a fast turnaround. You can go less time if you just want like a 3-pound bird, but we like them big and meaty. 5-pound birds, that's the way to go. It's usually about 3.5 weeks on average. You can put those chicks out on pasture. So we could have put them out on pasture about a week ago. However, not everything was lined up and ready, and I wanted it to be as close to perfect as possible. So it is almost. We're almost there. We got to get a feeder in one of these tractors, top up the water in the other 2, like I already said. And then we've just got to get, let's see here, we just got to get all of these chicks. So here's the thing is why it's got to get done today. We just made it through a big storm. We got, in some places, 6 inches of water. Right here, we got 4.5 inches. So all around us is very wet. There we go, 4.5 inches. So before we go in here, let me just warn you, these chicks, they've gotten so big, they've actually been getting out of the brooder for about the last week. That's when I knew, like, yeah, we gotta get them rounded up and get them in these chicken tractors where they can't escape. We're gonna get the kids together. They're gonna go in there and wrangle those chickens, and we're gonna get them in a bucket and move them down to the south pasture. We're gonna have to do this probably about 30 at a time, so 2 trips per tractor with a big old bucket, and we'll get them all down there. It's a little noisy in here, but that's fine. We've got all the chicks, as you can see. guys. Now you might be thinking, hey Freeborn, why are you dumping all these chicks in these tractors when they're only rated for 25 to 30? Well, it's 25 to 30 full-grown birds. I've got a plan here. We're going to start them out in the chicken tractors, about 60 a pop. Once they're a little larger, we'll have built one of Justin Rhodes' meat shaws, and we're going to put them in there, or put them under there, in netting. They're just too small to go in netting right now. In netting, they just pop right out, and they'd be out and running around. We're going to keep them safe and secure inside netting once they're big enough to stay in there, and then dry underneath one of those meat shaws. We'll see that a little bit later. There's two types of wrangling that we do here on the farm. There's chicken wrangling, and then there's chidler wrangling. I got to get the chidlers out here. That's the hardest part. Once you get the chidlers out here to wrangle the chickens, all the wrangling is easy after that. So how we want to make sure that this is tall enough. So we want to take their head and gently see if they can reach the water nipple. And if they can reach it with their beak, then it's low enough. And you want to take your smallest chick to do that, because the others, they can stoop and they can still get it. But you need your water to be low enough for your shortest chick. Honey's been faithfully guarding my coffee cup while we've been getting the chicks. I think her real motive is keeping an eye on the chicks that we're bringing out in case one of them escapes and she can eat one. Alright, there's the last 20 of them, or 19. So here's the problem. I forgot about these guys until we put them in here and I saw how they were acting. They're kind of big bullies. Big red broilers and Cornish cross don't mix. I'm remembering that from last year now, how they acted toward them. Especially because these guys are so much bigger. Look at what's happening. You've got these little Cornish cross that they still have a lot of fluff on them. They have enough feathers to be outdoors, but that fluff can't be getting all soaking wet like that. That's going to kill them at night. So these guys, the big red broilers, come over here and they start drinking water and they start dripping water all over the place. And these little guys come up underneath it and get all soaking wet like this. So that's the second problem. So we got three problems. They're much bigger. I mean, they're probably three, 4 times the size. Some of them are monsters compared to these Cornish cross. And they're bullies. They're much more aggressive than the Cornish cross. They're still a docile chicken, but when you mix these with Cornish cross, they just trample all over them, they beat them up, they grab them and peck them, and they're gonna have all these Cornish cross bloody in no time. Either that or soaking wet and dead. So we're gonna take them out and we're gonna put them with the rest of the big red broilers. So these guys are a fantastic meat bird, but they are a bit more aggressive, so you can't mix them with other more docile meat birds like the Cornish cross. Those guys, they're just too gentle. They're too gentle of a soul to mix with something like a big red broiler that's got a little bit more of a fight in it. They'll be mean and they'll peck them, and they just don't relent either. It's like, it's not about establishing a pecking order. We had some Cornish cross get pretty beat up last year because they were in here with these guys. So I like these birds. I think they're more of a dark meat bird, so if you like dark meat, these are the birds for you. So if you like white meat, Cornish cross are the way to go. If you like more dark meat, big red broilers are the way to go.